Hello Flosstube, my name is Kristen and this is a channel about cross stitch. Today is Tuesday, January 2nd, so big happy new year to everybody. I hope the holidays were everything you're hoping they would be. And I just want to say a welcome to, I had some new subscribers last month, so that for me is a big deal because my channel is so small. And I also wanted to give a special shout out to my super cool nephew Cameron, who I heard actually does watch all these videos. So hi Cameron, I hope the rest of your holidays were awesome. And I'm going to actually start with the winners of last month's giveaway because I sometimes almost forget to do that. So I'm going to, I did a random comment picker as I usually do. So this was the winner of the Heaven and Earth stocking, and it is at Lisa O 8158, and I will message you in the comment section. And then I also, this one doesn't really have a name. I've never seen anything like this, but that's just because I'm new at this. So the winner of the holiday, I had a Mill Hill kit and some other smalls in there. It's just an @user with a bunch of letters and numbers. So I'm sure that's a way of maintaining privacy, maybe. But I will also try to comment on your comment so that you can see that you won, in case you don't watch this. So December, I got work done on a lot of projects, but I didn't get a lot of work done on all those projects, if that makes any sense, because it was, we were getting ready for Christmas and there was just a lot going on. And we also, for those of you who have maybe not watched me before, we had one of our dogs had passed in October, and it's not that long ago, but we've been thinking about, do we want to get another one? What do we want to do? We've got a black lab. I had a chocolate lab that we lost, and she's 6, but she's just super friendly and I think was missing having a buddy. So the weekend before Christmas, had just a failed adoption thing that we tried to do that unfortunately didn't work out very well. And then this weekend, we actually were able to take in a retired breeder mom who is actually the same age as my dog. It's another black lab, and they're somehow back in their lineage or related somehow. And she just fit in like she always belonged here. Super sweet. They're playing. Everybody's happy. So that's good. But that's, of course, that took up a lot of time over those weekends for me. And okay, anyway, we're just going to get, so at least that's some good news. A new family member is always fun. So I'm just going to, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over my finishes from 2023, which aren't many. There's only 3. And 2 of them were in the last couple of months. So the first thing that I finished towards the beginning of the year, and I think I tossed some of the information on this one. This was my Dragon Riders of Pern chart that I did on 28 count heritage linen by Picture This Plus. I don't have the cover sheet anymore, but this is the finish on that. Anybody that's a Pern fan will understand what all that is. I did have to rearrange this a little bit. The original chart, it was by Shelley Designs. I think it was called The Weirs of Pern. I have it. If anybody wants it, I do have the information. It's just in my email somewhere. These were set up differently on the original chart. There was like 4, they weren't even, and my brain likes even, the things even. So I kind of rearranged the symbols, and then I added the Weirs of Pern down here. There was a poem that was pretty, and that comes right from the books, but it was also very light and used a lot of backstitching, which I'm terrible at. So I ended up just going in and finding some font. I'm not sure if it matches super great, but I'm happy with it. That was my first finish of the year. And then, as you guys have followed the saga of Lilith, I told you guys last month I don't post finishes usually on Facebook or anything, but I did post her in one of my groups that I'm in, and then when I saw it on the big computer screen, I saw stitches I had missed, so I was embarrassed, so I left it up. But anyway, I was embarrassed and frustrated, so I took her back out, and I stitched these stitches. Actually, I did it on New Year's Eve, thinking there were only 4 or 5. Nope, there were more. And I was doing it in hand, too, because I thought I could just do it really quick. she is finally done. Finally done. Lilith, she just came back to haunt me. I still love her, but again, I am very glad that she's done. And I feel like the camera is capturing that fabric pretty well. You'll see the other half of this piece I have, because I'm doing a kit parade today, which I almost had a heart attack when I saw all the stuff that I have. Anyway, I hope I live long enough to stitch all this stuff. Yeah, so that's Lilith. I'm going to use the other half of that fabric for one of the Joan Elliott Celestial Dragon. And then my other little finish that I just finished not that long ago was, oh, sorry, and this fabric is 28 count linen Hyacinth from Sweet Stash, which I got on Cross Stitch Boutique, but I'm not sure if they're dyeing their own fabric anymore. So this was White Raven's TARDIS Galaxy, and this is 32 count Lugana from Picture This Plus, and a tiny bit more purpley in person. I am gonna this coming, well, January, because it's January. This month I am gonna try to do a couple framing. I'm gonna try to frame this. I have a little wooden frame that I'm actually gonna try to just spray paint like a blue sparkly kind of a thing. I don't know. I'll show you guys if I get it done how it looks. And then I have a frame for Midsummer Night's Fairy that I had finished the year before that I got in another thrift store thing. And it's like a gold frame, and it comes with a mat already that's a green that matches her dress. And it was almost too good to be true. If it fits with the mat, it's just going to fit. I haven't put the two together yet. We'll see how that goes. So I have some mat board. I'm going to try to pin them and lace them and see how that goes. So those were my 2023 finishes. And then I have a couple of new things that I did get. This isn't new. I've showed you guys this chart before. I just got this within the last couple of months. This is Bella Filipina's Mayari Deity of the Moon. I had been looking at her for a long time, and I finally got her. And I said I wasn't going to kit her up, but I did get for Christmas a piece of 28 count linen Phantom from Picture This Plus. And I have been looking at this fabric too, on and off, I think it's going to look great on this. It's just the purples and the blues are just so deep and rich, and I'm so happy to get that. And I'm so happy that it looks just like I was hoping it would look. But that really is all I'm going to get for her, because I almost had a heart attack when I was looking at my stack of things to be stitched. And I know I've said it before, but I am going to really try hard to not buy anything for a long time, because I have plenty to work on. Okay, so what I worked on in December was, and I know everything's in bags. I unzipped everything to try to keep the noise to a minimum, but if I had everything out, it would just be a disaster. So this is Heaven and Earth Designs Mini Day Night by John Shannon. This is the one that I work on every month. And like I said, I didn't get a ton of stitching done on anything, but I did get a whopping 200 stitches done on this one. I have stacks upon stacks here, so I'm sorry. I'm just kind of going to do the best I can. Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to show you where I was. This is where I was when I started. And honestly, I can't really remember where I worked. Let's see. What did I do? I think I pulled this one out. I think I worked more in that blue section. Yep, I'm pretty sure. I just did some blocks in here. I know I keep saying I have to go over and finish these ninja stitches. And this is on 25 count 1/1 cross. I'm trying to be quiet so I don't annoy anybody. And now this is one of the ink circles, which I've just been taking to sit while my son does his dry break classes. So this is where I was at the beginning of December. And I just worked, I think I might have finished that dragon. This month I think I'm going to take with me one of the other dragons. This is, whoops, whoa, I hope I didn't show that. This is Ink Circles Elemental Dragon's Fire. And this is where I am. I just took it out of the Q-Snap, so it's all funky and wrinkly. And this is on 18 count, Picture This Plus, Earthen. You think I'd remember this by now. And Weeks Dye Works, Brick. No, I did not finish him. I got some of his wings done. And I've only been working on that an hour a week. But I think what I am going to work on, actually we go today. If I can get it out of here. I have to bring my Chromebook for this. We'll see how that goes in the waiting room. So I'm going to work on Elemental Dragons Air, which I do have a tiny bit of a start. This was a new start, one of the new starts I did in November. That's where we are on that. Oops. This is another 18 count Ada. This one's from Chromatic Alchemy. I think the color is Malva, I believe, and I am using Eggplant from Weeks Dye Works on that one. I don't know how noisy the paper is to you guys, though. Okay, now this is one of my Mirabilias, the Rose of Sharon. I worked on her for 5 days, and this is on 28 count Lugana and the color Petra from Chromatic Alchemy. This fabric is beautiful. It doesn't show up. Oh, there's dog hair. It doesn't show up as good on the camera. I think it goes this way. This is opalescent, and it has kind of, and you guys can't really tell. It's got almost some peach tones to it. This one never shows up really great. That's where I got on her. I'm going to swap out and work on a different Mirabilia for this month. All right, working down the pile here of what I worked on this month. This is Beauty. No, it's not. This is, I think this is Mini Night Day. That's John Shannon's Mini Night Day from Heaven and Earth Designs. I see it's a companion chart to the Mini Day Night. I don't have as much done on this one, and this is where I was when I took it out. This is also on 25 count, 1/1, full cross. And I did write this down. I'm sorry, this is the one I got 200 stitches on. My Mini Day Night I only got 163 stitches on. So I'm at 2.1% on this one, and on Day Night I'm on 19.85%. So I got 200 stitches done on this. Still a little not certain about the coverage, but I think it's good enough that when I wash it, it'll be fine. Sorry, I'm trying to go through fast enough because I know how many kits I have to show you. And then I worked on, I did get on one of my Lord of the Rings kicks this month. I did a rewatch of all the movies because I always do it at holiday time. And the only one I didn't take out and work on was the Hobbit tour, but I did work on, this is Love and Valor by Thread Geeks. Artist David DuBois. And this is where I was when I started. And on this one, I'm sorry, I think the sun's coming in weird. Wait, all of a sudden the color in my thing just got weird. You know what? I don't know how to take care of that without getting up and walking all the way around. Anyway, I got 390 stitches done on this. And this is 28 count, 1/1, 28 count Monaco. Oops, thread hanging over there. And if that sunlight messes up the fabrics for you, I'm going to have to shut the shade. So I think I got a lot of stuff done in here. Yep, I think that's where I worked. I'm happy with how they're coming out. I really do like Thread Geeks. They're manageable sizes too. They're not too crazy. And then I worked on the Gate of Moria. You can see the designer there. This was one I got on Etsy. I can't pronounce it, so I never tried to. And I'm doing this one on 28 count charcoal Lugana, and I'm using glow-in-the-dark DMC. Hopefully you can see that okay. I think the light's on the right side so you can see this. So I did, most of what I worked on was on this pillar. I got down here. Although I thought about, I don't know what happened. I was using, it's 2/2, but I don't know what happened here. These look thinner, so I might go back and pull those out and stitch those over. Not sure what happened there. It does look cool though. I think I might have taken a picture. It really does glow in the dark. Oh, I did take a picture, but I didn't put it on my tablet. It's kind of neat. I like it. And then for a Christmas start, I started Madonna and Child by Joan Elliott. This I had bought as a kit, and it came with white Ada, which I really didn't want to use. And I was goofing around with the fabric viewer, and I went a little bit out of my comfort zone with this one, but I got After the Rain, a 28 count Lugana plain by Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers, in case anybody needs that. And I got a good chunk of her done. I must have counted, I don't know how many times I counted. I put in pins and I tried to count, and because I really don't want to screw it up and have her head be in the leaves. And there's some leaves at the bottom, but I don't think she's going to make it that far. And there's a couple falling on the sides. So I'm pretty sure she's going to make it 1, 2, 3, 4. I think her top of her head's going to be right in line with that leaf. So there's going to be a tiny bit of space between there, and then of course the baby angles down anyway. And I had planned to not stitch the halos. I just wanted to keep it really simple. And I might do this bird and that bird, mostly because if I don't do him, I'm going to have to figure out how to fill in. I'm not sure if I can figure that out. We'll see. I might take those out and just leave it the mother and the baby, and see how she comes out. I didn't count those. I don't count if it's not on Pen and Keeper, but I'm happy with the start that I got on her. And I probably shouldn't do any more new starts because I did 4 new starts in November, but I did for New Year's start something last night, which I'm going to keep working on for a little bit. All right, I believe that is all my progress from December. And then so I'm going to work on Mini Day Night, and I'm going to work on that Elemental Dragons Air. Excuse me, I'm going to turn around here and stick this in my bag. And these are the other things I plan to work on in January. So I'm going to work on Mirabilia's The Kiss. It was a gift for me for last year, so I want to make sure, and it was my son gave it to me, so I'm really trying to make sure I get some good progress on this, which I am here. And this is 28 count Apple Blossom linen, and all the called for DMC. But I think it's probably a combination of DMC and, no, I think this is all DMC. That's where I am on them. I don't know why this feels different. I should write down which company I get this from? I think I got this from the seller on Etsy. It just feels different. I don't know. I like the feel of this fabric. I don't know why it feels different, but it just feels different. Sorry, I gotta fold it up one more time. Right, and then I decided to pull out some things I hadn't worked on in a while. Sorry about the paper. I'm gonna work on Thread Geek's Outlander, which I don't think I did write it down. I can't find the page. I don't think I've worked on this since the spring. This one is 28 count, 2/1 half cross. As I think I mentioned before, I was tempted to start over here and try to work on Jamie's head, but you know, me and mistakes, so I'm not going to do that. If I need to, I'll just bang out some of the border there. And I think I did work on, last time I took these guys out, I worked a lot on trying to fill in any of the ninja stitches up here, which I have a much harder time doing with, I'm doing half cross. I don't know, my brain just has a hard time with half cross, but I have quite a few that I'm doing it. And then I'm also going to work on Tilton Crafts Beauty and the Beast 2017. I believe I worked on this in the spring as well. I tried to find ones that had been 6 months or so. This one is 25 count, 1/1 foot cross. Still just pretty far away from anybody. It's just lots of blue and clouds for quite a while still. But that's okay. We'll get to the good part at some point. And then I decided that I'm going to work on this. I got to show you a picture of. Whoops! I left my tag out. I am going to work on. Whoop! I'm not sure what I just did there. Now, I had it, and I don't know what happened to it. I'm sorry, guys. Sometimes my brain and technology just can't work together. Well, it's not going to mean anything to you because you can't see the picture, but this was a Godzilla, it's like a monochrome Godzilla chart, which just looks like nothing. It just looks like a black stripe right now. And this was a Dyke success job that I had on, I think it might have been 14 count to start. But it's like a silhouette of Godzilla, and there's some buildings around him. Because that's an easy one to just work on. Sorry, I don't have the picture of it. I thought I did. Okay. And so now I'm going to get to all my kits that I have. And try not to panic when I show you guys all this. This in no particular order either. I'm just, going to grab off the top. Again, these are all opened, but this one is, oh, I think I know what this one. This is A Lady Whistle Down. I should have written down the designer, and I didn't. So, I mean, this isn't really that exciting to look at because it's just, this is just 32 count boogers. Sorry, I don't like 32 count. Why did I do that? Jeez, here I go again. Anyway, it's a cream Lugana, and those are the colors. Purple's my jam, and I just am a sucker for anything with a lot of purple in it. And I did get on a Bridgerton kick when it started, so I thought that would be a fun one. I think I'm going to make a pile on the floor is what I think is going to happen. And then this one is an Outlander-inspired chart. Honestly, you guys know how bad I am with, backstitching. And there's a lot on that whole entire border. Yeah, sorry, I really did not justice here by not writing down who the artist was on this one either. I just thought that the black seemed a little not like stone. I thought it was too much, so I'm swapping out for, I'm going to use like 3799. So it's a dark gray. And I have two pieces of fabric in here. the picture on, that's the mock-up, but the picture of a model picture showed more of like an oatmeal type of fabric. Well, this is just an Aida, which I'm pretty sure just came in something else. I don't know where I got that from. And these are the colors. Just green, purples, very similar to the Bridgerton one. And then I also bought this, which color, I don't know what color that is. Wow, here I am thinking I was all prepared. I don't remember what the color is, but I just thought that that looked better. And then if I ever start that one, because I probably will stall for a long time because all that back stitching. And then this is, whoops, I left my note a note, no 501. I must have stole floss out of that or something else, so I better stick that back in there. And I have a skein I've been holding on to for months after when you guys helped me decide which memorabilia to start, and I had them all up here and they all went flying everywhere and made a big mess. I have a random skein. I never found out where it belonged to. Anyway, so this was a freebie dragonfly that you used to be able to get online. I'm not sure if it's still available, but it was a memorabilia freebie dragonfly, which called for, Weeks Dye Works. It called for water lilies, which I just decided to grab what I had in stash and try to do the best I can to pull out the same colors from the variegation. And this is one skein acrylic that it called for. And I just got a sage 28, better be 28 count. It's not on there anymore. 28 count Lugana. So I'm going to do the best I can to kind of mimic those colors from the water lilies. I just realized all three of these is all the same colors, which makes sense because purple's my favorite. I think these are on top because these are in the bottom of my drawer. So sorry. Let's see. And this is, all right, this was one of my not successes with dyeing. But this is the Stained Glass Rose by Make It Pink. I think this might have been free. I can't remember, but I think it might have been free. I don't know. I kind of was on the lookout for some stained glass charts, and most of the ones I saw that I liked were really, anyway, huge, and I'm not going to get Disney things on Etsy. Anyway, so, well, I guess this is kind of a Disney thing because it sort of reminds me of Beauty and the Beast. And I think I had all these in stash, and then this was a dyeing disaster. I'm trying to remember what happened. There was a lot of dyeing that happened to this piece of fabric. It might have been pink at one point, and I think it was brown, and then I wanted to get like a really kind of a light pink in there, and I don't know what happened, but then it turned out to be like this hot pink mess that looked dirty. So then I just chucked some navy in there. Anyway, and you can kind of still see. Ugh. Without that light, it doesn't look as obvious. I don't know. Oof. Anyway, these are the colors. These are the colors for the rose. I thought that wouldn't look too bad. That's another one that just might sit in the drawer. Oops. Sorry, I try to make sure that I'm on the white side of the paper in case there's any transfer from any of the writing on the paper. Again, these were ones that were in the bottom of the drawer. They're gonna get more interesting, I swear. Oh, jeez. Okay. This, I don't think I have a picture of. This came from the same shop that the Godzilla came from. I know what? Sorry, guys. Here I am thinking I was so good. It is a Baby Groot. So if you know what Baby Groot looks like. This was another dye job that I did. That I thought ended up, the color was super cool, but it's not very big. And so I thought I would just do Baby Groot on that. Again, going kind of out of my comfort zone with the bright colors. But those are Groot's colors. And he's a space guy, so I thought that would be kind of fun. All right. I do have Let me see if I can find some more interesting kits for you guys. All right, this is Black Swans. I just kind of recently discovered Black Swan. And I have a fairy chart, a dragon chart, and a wizard chart from them. And I think I'm going to be good. But this is Lily Pond Dreams, Black Swan Designs, designed by Karen Weaver. I don't know the story behind her or this company. I think a lot of the charts are out of print or discontinued, so. I thought that one was really pretty. I'm not totally sure about her profile, if I can get that close enough. Profile's a little funky, but I don't know, I love the flowers, I love the butterflies. So I am going to do her on, I chose just a 28 count lamb's wool Joblin. And then I have all her colors. Trying to get them all on one of these little dowel things to make my life easier. There's a lot for her. There's a lot of pretty colors for her. It's going to bend there's so many colors for her. So I thought that would look pretty cool. And then she does also have, oh, she had a lot of Krennic. Some of these were also discontinued. I think this is it's like a fuchsia. I was able to find on Sandra's Stitch Stash. And these are some of the other ones. And I swapped out, there was a gray and like a lilac that I got for petite treasure braid. Oh. And then she came with some beads, which I'm not taking out of plastic. All right, that is Lily Pond Dreams. Here we go, I'm losing Krennic. Excuse me. I think I'm uncoordinated now. You should see me when I'm actually up and moving. It's just, stop that in there. All right. Then we have, this is one of the other ones. You know what? I'm just going to pull everything out at once here. Come on, Kristen, you can do it. Maybe these dowels weren't such a good idea. Just thought it'd be easier to show you the colors without wadding them up in my hand. So this is Black Swan's Wizard, excuse me, of Wind, Third Wizard in the Enchantress series by Karen Weaver. I actually bought this from a lady, a super nice lady, that was destashing her amazing collection. She's in, I forget, it was one of the Facebook groups that I found her in. And I bought the fabric came with it, and so did some of the Krennics. And then these are his flosses. A nice range of colors for him too. He has a ton of Krennic. Look at all those colors. Oh, Jesus, it's just a lot. I think most of them are in the dragon's wings, I believe. That's going to be hard. And then you can see the beads at the top. That's an amazing amount. Holy shnikes. All right. Whoop, I got a random floss popping out there. That is Avatar. There was a Wizard of the Sea that I thought about getting, but as I said, I'm going to try to contain myself, and I mean it this time. I'm going to end up just piling these things up because he's never fitting back in there. All right, then we've got, this is, I was a member of Nora Corbett's Patreon last year, Not last year, because now it's 2024, for 2022. And this is the Rogue Dragon, which the dragon was one of the main reasons I joined the Patreon. And he is all ready to go. And for him, I got, these are all his beads. Oops, that's a lot of beads. A lot of big beads, too. And I wasn't sure how I felt about, I don't know, the reds and the purples all, but I think it's going to look cool. So I chose 28 count Lugana in the color Sprite. I picture this plus. And these are his colors. And there's little water lilies on the end there. I already started the spooky cat that I got on the Patreon. There was a bee that was really cute, and then a really funky tree that looks gorgeous, stitched. I've seen it stitched and it's amazing, but I don't know if I will do that or not. Okie dokie. This is the 3 Baby Dragons by Shiny Suns Cross Stitching. I don't know why I can't read that very well. And I chose black fabric to not stitch some of that black. Which again, it's not that interesting because it's just black fabric. But there's a lot of different tones in pinks, and I'm not sure if that's picking that up. And this is just, I think this is a 20 count even weave. So that's not very interesting. Very plain, but they're super cute. And this was another gift I got, last year for Christmas that my husband gave me. This is the Guardian from Teresa Wensler. And it's a full kit. Which I was super stoked about that. I am working on her Princess and the Dragon, and then I showed you guys I started like another Freebie Dragon mashup. Okay, let's see if I can get all this out. This is the, speaking of dragons, the Celestial Dragon. Let's see if I can find the cover page. By Joan Elliott. And I am not going to stitch this border around the edge. And I think I did sub out a bunch of petite treasure. I can't even talk today. Treasure braid. And I'm going to do him on the other half of that fabric that I did Lilith on. Which I tried to pick. I'm not going to take these all out, but this is all. There's like some green Krennic in there. And a bunch of different colors for the petite treasure braid. And then, yeah, I've got just some. I can pull from stash, I certainly do. Most of these are actually, well, yeah, I think most of these are CXC. So again, this is Sweet Stash. And I know that I use painter's tape on the side of that. So I chose this side for him because it had some of the darker black, and I didn't think that that would look as good with Lilith. I'm not sure what side I'm going to put him on yet. I think that's more spacey looking than the half I used for the mermaid. And these are all his colors. Slide him back in there. I honestly just really kind of lost track of what I had. This is just, I know that there's people that have a whole lot more, but this is stressing me out a little bit. And, hoi. So, alright, that's why I have this book in my lap. This is Teresa Wensler's Unicorn. Now it's called for blacks because the black's not stitched. There are so many colors and so many blends, which is fine. I don't know. Again, this one might not be that interesting because it's just black fabric. I don't know if I can. And some of the colors I just have on skeins because I pulled them out of, they were partially used. I could barely fit these on there. There's just so many. But they're so pretty. There's blues and greens and browns and purples. But that's heavy. There's a lot of colors on there. Not gonna lie, that one kind of terrifies me. I'm sure it'll be gorgeous and worth it when it's done. Let's see. This is a Mirabilia. Really hard not to. Oh, I think this is Cathedral Woods Goddess because there's a lot of bling on this one. Yeah, pretty sure. This is, yeah, that's what she's called, Cathedral Woods Goddess by Nora Corbett. I've seen some pretty conversions, different colors in the dress, but I'm just going to do her as charted. And I am using the other half of the Picture This Plus 28 count linen in the color Ancient, which is what I used for Pern. I don't know if I told you the right name, but this is Ancient. And it's a pretty big piece. I've got it folded. And those are her colors. A couple water lilies. And then she's got a full load of beads. That's a lot of beads. And also Krennic, but some of those really only 3 colors. It's just a lot of one color. So I thought that would look good on that fabric. And I was happy to find something to use it for. You know what, Kristen? You can do this. And I know I dropped those on the floor. Put this in there. All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. What is this? Oh, I think this is... There were a couple of Star Wars things that I have. And I just like this one. This is Bless This Wretched Hive of Scum and Villainy. And I can always give you the information if you want to know the designer of that, because I don't have it right here. And I definitely pulled all this from Stash because they're all like scraggly. You know, I'm just gonna, I kind of tried to get close to those colors, and then I'm just going to use, I actually, when I was trying to kit up Celtic Twilight from Joan Elliott, which I showed last month as one of my new starts for November, I bought 2 pieces of fabric because I wasn't sure if I wanted to go with a light fabric for her or a dark fabric. And I ended up going with the dark fabric, so I'm using this one for this chart, and this is 28 counts Lugana in the color Ren by Picture This Plus. It looks very much like Heritage, which I'm using for a Walking Dead chart. But I thought that would be fine. Again, just something I had in the bottom of my drawer. Get in there. Oi. Okay, and this is another Mirabilia, I believe. All our beads are loose. Usually I have them in a bag. And a crack. Okay. I think we're safe to pull the rest of this out. I believe this is Deepest Love. Yep. This is Deepest Love by Nora Corbett. and planned on doing another mermaid. I kind of was just planning on doing, one fairy, one mermaid, one lady from Mirabilia. But I got this on Stash Unloading for a steal. And she's pretty. So I thought that I would get her. And then I am going to do her on Lazurite. This is an Opal 20 count Lugana from Chromatic Alchemy. Super pretty. And these are her colors. And I do have, she's got one thing acrylic, which looks a lot like another one I just pulled out, and just a couple of beads. Nothing crazy. And 2 treasures, which I struggled with the treasures. When I do treasure, when I did Lilith, actually I think I might have skipped. No, I didn't skip putting them on. I just don't think they're on there very well, so I'll have to be careful when I frame her that they don't fall off. I like beading just the regular seed beads. I don't do well with the bigger ones. Oh, this is one that I got in my marketplace haul. This is Firefly Fairies by Lavender Lace. And there was no way I was going to attempt to bleach any fabric because I would totally ruin it. So I ended up getting this is another Fiberlicious Yummy Fibers. It's Amazing Gray. It's plain and it's 28 count linen. I thought it would be cool to have them pointing their wands and their lights up into the dark sky. Yeah. So I'm getting it. I'm not sure if having these all stuffed in there was a good idea. So I thought that they would, and their colors I thought would pop pretty nicely. I feel like there's, like you almost can't even see, like their wands have like bursts of color, which I feel like it's lost in the bleached area. There's quite a few beads on this one too. Of course, each fairy has their own colors and a lot of acrylic. Petite. I keep saying petite. Petite treasure braid. My brain just wants to combine those words. And this is all their colors. I think that's going to work. I was happy that they were in that haul that I got from that sweet lady. Most of what I got from her I kind of already destashed. But I kept these ladies, and then there was a couple of fairies that I kept that I'm not totally sure I'm going to actually stitch them, but I may at some point just destash those two. Okay, they're in. And then this one was a kit that I bought. I'm pretty certain my husband doesn't watch these, and if he does, he doesn't watch it to the end, most likely. So this is for him, which I probably should start at some point because I'd like to give it to him for his birthday next year. This is Mustang from Avid Stitch. It was a kit. I could only get it as a kit. I couldn't get it as just a chart, which came with, again, it came with a white Ada that I'm not going to use. And I bought this super cool fabric. Well, I hope it looks cool. I got it on, you can get it on Rogue Stitching, but I think I got it directly from Sunflowers Printed Fabrics on Etsy, but it still has a Rogue Stitching tag on it. And this is Wispy Clouds. I don't know if it's too bright in here to see, but I thought that it would look cool to have the plane looking like it's in the air. And this is Ada. 18 count. Sorry. I'm just going to fold this in half so it's easier to hold. I haven't figured out which way I'm going to aim the clouds, but this is the card of flosses. That's one of my husband's favorite planes. And he does have a big birthday coming up next year, so I'm going to do some special things for him. And he never comes over here when I'm stitching, so he would never even see it. Unless he sees this, but like I said, I doubt he'd watch it all the way through this far. All right, only a few left. Oh, this is the other... Get my stick out. Yes, I meant to show this to you guys last month. Holy shnikes. Except that one I did twice, and then when I redid the video the second time, I forgot. So this is my last Black Swan chart, Dragon's Lair. Again, designed by Karen Weaver. I found it, I don't know how I found it. I can't remember how I found it. I must have been browsing online, but the chart that I originally saw, I think it might have been a kit, was just this inner square. And in the kit, it actually had, like, these are his arms and there's flames. In the kit, it had like a, I think it looked like a wooden attachment that was the flames. And it didn't have this. And when I searched a little bit more, I just went and got the whole chart because I just thought it had, like, I don't know, a cool Celtic tie-in there. Celtic-looking tie-in. So I got, it's another pitch of this plus in the color Opal, 28 count linen. Which, yeah, I don't know if it's going to show. There's like, almost like a dusky pink and green tones to it. I guess it shows up pretty good. This is all the colors for him. And he also did have some beads, of course, and some krennic. I think that's part of why I love Rosa Sharon so much. There's no beads or krennic. Again, I don't mind stitching the beads. And I bought, you know what, you guys? I know this is a side note, but I got, that's not it. I got a skein of DMC's E5200, which is, it's like a bright white that has a little bit of the, not glitter, what am I trying to say? You know, the shininess, you know what I'm trying to say. So I was thinking about maybe, I know my Phantom of the Opera, a quick stitch, has a ton of krennic, and I thought I hadn't done that much. I don't know if I should pull it out and just, if this is easier to stitch with, try this instead, just so you get that shimmer and shine. So I don't know if any of you guys have any input on E5200, let me know, because I don't know, I'll probably pull that one out in February. Okay, and last, but definitely not least, is the one that terrifies me the most. And I am definitely not ready for it yet. But my husband is wonderful and got me all the specialty stuff for it. Whoop! I just lost my tablet because I was yakking too long. So this is the only bigger chatelaine that I have. And this is Deep Blue Sea Mandala. And I have two fabrics because I couldn't decide if I wanted to go light or dark. The dark looks super cool on the fabric viewer, but to get, sorry, it's going to crinkle a little bit. To get the color, I should have taken these out before. All right, I'm going for it. Sorry, it's going to be noisy. To get the dark color that I really wanted, it had to be linen. So this is a Chromatic Alchemy 28 count Al's Dark Magic, which is kind of similar to the Phantom that I'm doing, that I showed you earlier, but it's definitely more blues and less purple, and it's gorgeous. And I'm going to show you both pieces that I have. I did not even attempt to take out all the colors of DMC because there's so many of them. I just But I do have, my husband got me all, like I said, all the specialty flosses. So there's just so many colors, not just of all the silks, but the DMC. It's just, the range is crazy. So for me, it's making it hard to pick fabric because, you know, on one fabric, something might blend in, on another, something else might blend in. And there's a lot of different treasure braids. And it's just so pretty. But this, I feel like the colors really, really pop, and I think the blue would be awesome. I'm also a little terrified because, I mean, I still need to work on my small chatelaine and try to figure out how to do all of the specialty stitches. Like, I need to take a class or something. It's just, there's nothing like that around here. So I'm going to have to search out some good tutorials. And these are, of course, are all the beads, because there's a lot of beads. So that is one choice that I have. It's a big piece. These are 29 by 29 custom cuts that I got. And then, sorry, we're going to crinkle again. I didn't even think to open these. This one is Huckleberry Lugana from Be-Stitch Me. And this one's opalescent. I didn't dare go opalescent with the dark color because I thought that would make my brain explode. This is a really pretty color. That's the tack on that. So this would be, you know, easier to see and easier to keep stitches even because it's even weave, but I feel like either way would be a good choice. But I am so far out of the ability to do that one yet that I got time to decide. So those, I tried to go through it so it wasn't a terribly long video. Those are all my kits, things I have kitted up. So, like I said earlier, I have more than I could probably even live to stitch, so I'm going to try really, really hard to put myself. New year, unless somebody wants an idea to get me something for my birthday or Christmas next year, I'm not buying anything. And I did start, I didn't show it yet, it is part of my January plan. You know what? Darn it, I don't have a cover sheet for this one either. This was, I haven't done any Harry Potter type charts. So this was like a Hogwarts inspired chart. Which on this model stitch, you can see it's stitched on a blue Aida. But it called for white, and I did not want to do white. So I ended up, I've only put, I got dog hair on this too. I only put like 20 stitches in it last night, but I chose to go with gray. I do have blue Aida, but I don't know. I'm going to see how this turns out. So it's just on like a medium gray. I'm going to keep working on that for a couple of days. So I think that's it. I showed you my progress, my plans for next month, all the kits that I have. I got 4 new starts last month, 2 months ago. 1 new start last month, 1 new start. That's 6 new starts in the last couple of months, so I'm hopefully not going to start anything new either. I do plan to also next month, I think I already told you this. Yes, I did. I told you about the framing, so I'm going to try to get some framing. I'm going to try to finish the back on my Stargate one that I did, and I think that's it. So I hope this wasn't too long and too... So I hope everybody has a great Happy New Year and a wonderful January, and I will see you next month. Bye! Did it again.